Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of Field Notes, Insights, and Observations for the Travel Marketer. My name is Eric Hulkern, and we are live in Atlantic City at the New Jersey Travel Industry Association Tourism Conference. And we are talking this time around with Jim Kirkos. He is the CEO of the Meadowlands Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to be talking about all of the exciting stuff happening in and around World Cup fever. As I said, my guest at this time is Jim. Jim, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, no, it's terrific. We are really excited about what tourism means to New Jersey, and for us in the Meadowlands, tourism is a big deal, especially with great big events like World Cup coming into our backyard.
And so, obviously, that is a fresh announcement here. Mm-hmm. Everybody is talking about it, as they should. But Jim, for you, what gets you excited about it? Obviously, the prestige for sure, but how do you look at that announcement?
No, it's a first of all, the becoming a venue, a site was a big deal. Back when they announced that the MetLife Stadium would be the host of the 8 games, when they announced that we got the World Cup final, it took it to a whole nother level, right? Yeah. And think about 2 billion people gonna watch the World Cup final.
So how does someone even frame that, right? Because in an age of social media, people talk about my video got millions of views, but they say it in sort of an abstract way because they can't really picture what 1 million people would look like. But you're talking about 2 billion people across the planet watching a game at MetLife Stadium. How do you even conceptualize that?
Well, listen, to me, it's all about the unique opportunity we have to showcase the Meadowlands and New Jersey for the fact that all these people, first of all, we're probably going to have 2 million visitors come to New Jersey, and many of them will be around the games around MetLife Stadium in northern New Jersey. Southern New Jersey will also benefit from the games at Philadelphia. But the idea that we have the opportunity to showcase great communities, New Jersey as both a great place to visit, a great place to do business, a great place to live. It's a really unique opportunity.
And what's interesting to me, Jim, is and I hope you don't take this as a slight, because I don't mean it that way, but New Jersey is obviously a very blessed place that has 4-season hospitality and amazing food and tons of stuff to do, and anything you can imagine can happen here, right? But I, as an outsider, somebody from the Midwest who comes here occasionally for, this feels like this could be a year that changes the travel trajectory of the state permanently.
Yeah, so first of all, you and I from New Jersey know all that there is to do here, but others don't. Right? And so we have to be better marketers. We have to be better at telling the stories of all these unique destinations and places. And you're absolutely right. It can be a pivotal change that gets people to think about coming to New Jersey more frequently. Or coming to New Jersey after they've come here to the game and come back. The economic impact doesn't stop on July 20th, the day after the World Cup final. The economic impact lasts much longer. And if we're doing our jobs right, and we become good marketers, and we become good at showcasing all our places, we'll have economic impact from the World Cup for years to come.
Jim, obviously you're kind of the nexus of World Cup. What sort of local activations are y'all doing for this huge event?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that question, because we realize that while the host committee, the FIFA host committee, New York, New Jersey, is going to produce a big fan festival at Liberty State Park for lots of people, right, for the 40 days of all the World Cup that will be going on, we wanted to make sure we were having local communities in and around what I call the Greater Meadowlands have the opportunity to touch and feel the World Cup and experience and the ethnicity and so forth. So we created something called Flag Cities. And Flag Cities is meant to represent the teams that will be playing at MetLife Stadium for the first 5 group round games. And so those teams, the communities that will host those Flag Cities events, so we have 5. So we have 4 selected: Lyndhurst, Secaucus, East Rutherford, and Bergen County at Overpeck Park. Those are 4 locations for Flag Cities events right now. 1 is still to be named. They will adopt the flags of the two teams playing the next day.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
And create something. So the first one is in Lyndhurst, and the first game is Brazil, Morocco.
Gotcha.
So Lyndhurst will embrace Brazil and Morocco, and we'll have those kind of ethnic foods at that particular festival.
Awesome.
And it's a huge thing. So we solicited some sponsors, and Goya, a great name in New Jersey, is going to be the presenting sponsor. So it'll be Goya presents Flag Cities for us in New Jersey, and they're a great supporter of our organization, and lots to do. But this will give local businesses the opportunity to be part of vendor villages. It'll allow local residents the opportunity to come and get a feel. Because let's face it, there's only 80,000 seats in the stadium, and not everybody's going to get a ticket. And some people can't afford the prices of those particular tickets. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to have local residents touch and feel the World Cup and get a flavor for all of that. And these local activations are the way to do it. So we're going to do 5 of them, and we think they'll be fantastic.
One of the things that's interesting about this part of the country is like not all states have the connective tissue or even sit in the same spot as the Chamber of Commerce and the DMO. And like when you're dealing with something like the World Cup games and then the World Cup final, how much of an advantage is that to have those two things in lockstep?
Yeah, well, for us, it's great. So we created our Convention and Visitors Bureau, the DMO, the tourism side of running the Chamber of Commerce, about 20 years ago. All right, because we recognized that especially in the Meadowlands area, there was developments, then Xanadu, now American Dream, a new stadium was going to be built, the racetrack was going to be built. We had the Meadowlands Sports and Entertainment Complex, so there was a reason for a growing tourism component of the overall economy in that region, in our region.
Yep.
So we just decided that as more development and more investment was going into what I call destination-related assets, that it just made sense for us, for the Chamber and the Tourism Bureau to come together, the DMO, to come together so that we can promote that. In essence, tourism development is economic development.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so for us, it's a natural.
That's awesome. So obviously we are at this conference. People go to tons of conferences year in and year out. But Jim, for you, what will be a success out of this? You come away tomorrow afternoon with what? And you'll be like, oh, I can't wait to go back next year.
So I spend so much time at my desk and planning and doing the things that I do every single day that every once in a while you just need to get away. You need to talk to colleagues from around the state and some vendors from outside, and just to make sure you're staying on top of what is available to us. I mentioned to you before about marketing. Well, there's 3 or 4 digital marketing firms here. I want to talk to those digital marketing firms. I want to understand what's new and creative in there, how they're infusing artificial intelligence into the marketing world. If we're going to be better marketers, we need to learn all those things, and I need to make sure I'm keeping my organization at the top of the crispness.
So Jim, how are you thinking about AI? How is the Meadowlands thinking about it?
No, I'm all over it. I mean, I personally use it every day.
What are you using? Because obviously everyone has their favorites.
So it's interesting. I read this great article. It was actually an op-ed by a CEO in a CEO briefing newsletter that I got. And the CEO talked about how he's encouraging his small company, which is only about 25, 26 people, he's encouraging his company to use AI as personal assistants so that his company of 25 or 26 could actually look like a company of 50.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And if everybody just embraced elements of artificial intelligence to help them become a little bit more efficient, to work a little bit smarter, right? Then what they do, then the performance level of the company is just going to skyrocket, and that's what I'm doing. As a matter of fact, my end of year staff retreat this year is going to be 80%. How are we going to infuse artificial intelligence into our day-to-day operations, and also as a chamber, how will we help other small businesses learn how to do that? And the way we can do that is if we lead by example. If I can sit in front of a room full of my small businesses and I can show them how we at the Chamber, 6 people, 6 full-time staff, are now looking like we're 12 or 15 because this is how we're using artificial intelligence, well, then I'm helping to teach them how they can infuse it. And that's the goal for us.
That's awesome. I've got a friend named Mike Yates. You should follow him on LinkedIn before this retreat because he specializes in all of these great real-world workshops.
Yeah.
So he walks people how through an AI might work. So if you've got small businesses or people in the chamber that aren't technologically savvy. He does all of these things that can help them understand very quickly. Now I understand what this thing is trying to do.
You know what's lacking? There's so much talk about AI, but there's not enough talk about the actual practical uses.
Yes.
Like
there's so much theory.
There's so much theory,
yes.
But what's the practical use, right? Well, how should a small business, how does the local florist or the local caterer, how do they use artificial intelligence in their business? What aspects can they use that could create some efficiency with them? And so there's a lot to learn. And so we're looking for that. So I'd love to connect with the gentleman you're talking about.
I'll make sure you two are connected for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Jim, outside of the big events that are coming to New Jersey, what other things in 2026 have you excited?
Well, in 2026, we've been advancing a concept. As I told you before, tourism development is a big part of our advocacy, and we've been advocating for the building of a convention center at the sports complex to replace the shuttered arena.
Sure.
That's been shut since the Devils and Nets left 10, 12 years ago. And so we are in the middle of a scoping assessment project, which is basically the next level of feasibility study. We engaged a company out of Chicago to do a market analysis. And the market analysis came back really positive that the success of a convention center, a multi-use youth and amateur sports / business meetings, conferences, conventions kind of facility would be immensely successful. And then we did an economic impact element to that report, and it showed a $30 billion economic impact over 30 years. Think about that.
That seems like a no-doubt.
It seems like a no-brainer, right? Well, it's not so easy in New Jersey. But so we asked the governor's office if they can help fund the next level of study. And Governor Murphy provided us with $2.5 million, and the legislature provided us with $2.5 million of research money to go ahead and do this next level of scoping assessment. We're in the middle of that right now. We'll be completed in early 2026, and hopefully that will lead to Governor-elect Sherrill coming into office and her administration and the legislature approving the idea of building a convention center at the sports complex.
That's awesome.
And that is really motivating for us because it would drive, when I think about it, the sports complex back in the 70s when it first came to life was the economic engine for 30 plus years.
Yes, yeah.
And then it started to die a little bit, right? It has the ability. So now American Dream is a very real thing. The new stadium is a very real thing. The new racetrack is a very real thing. We add a convention center, multi-use convention center to that complex. The Meadowlands Sports and Entertainment Complex can power the regional economy for the next 30 years, right? And it becomes a New Jersey thing, not just the Meadowlands thing, right? Because the jobs that it would create, the hotel stays, the tax revenue, it's just tremendous amount of business for local communities. So that's got me excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for allowing me to talk.